Absolute maximum and minimum. Find absolute maximum and minimum for the function f of x equals to 1 minus x squared when x is greater than or equal to 0 but less than 1. Now note here that the type of examples which I have taken, they are kind of very critical in themselves. So we have taken wide variety of examples so that you understand the concept of maximum minimum in closed interval. Now this one has lower bound, that means x is greater than or equal to 0, but on the other side x is less than 1. Note it is not less than or equal to 1, right? That makes a critical difference, and that is why we have this question here. Now try to understand it like this. Let me sketch a graph of 1 minus x squared. Now 1 minus x squared is kind of a graph parabola which is upside down, but it's translated 1 unit up. So basically it will be a graph like this, right? Now in this graph, the portion which is of our interest is within the domain where x is greater than or equal to 0 and less than 1. So at 1 the value will be 0. So less than 1 but not equal to 1. So this point is actually not included in our domain. So what is actually included is this portion of our parabola. So this starting from here to that point, correct? So as you can see from the graph itself that it will have a maximum value. The absolute maximum is right there, correct? That is absolute maximum. So we have absolute maximum here, but we don't have absolute minimum. Do you see that? Why? Since this is a whole, right? So absolute minimum does not exist since there is a hole here, right? You see a hole, right? So this point is not included. That is why we are considering this particular example in this particular case. Now here, you do have a continuous function in between. So within the given domain, the function is continuous. So we do expect absolute maximum and absolute minimum. But since our domain is not bound on the upper end, so one of them is possible, the other one is not. Do you see that? Now we could have absolute maximum minimum in between. So for that we need to find the derivative of the function and see the critical points, right? So f dash x is equals to minus of 2x. Now since it is a straight line, so it is never 0 in this domain. So we do not have any critical numbers. So you do not have critical numbers here, right? So that is why the only values which you could test is the value of the function at 0, right? So value of the function at 0 is 1 minus 0, which is equals to 1, correct? So that is the value of function. The value of function at 1 is 1 minus 1, which is 0. But this is approaching, right? We cannot be there. So the value changes from 1 to 0. But since we are approaching 0, we cannot be there. The absolute minimum does not exist, right? So our answer in this case will be that there is absolute maximum only, right? And that will be at the point we can say 0 and 1. So maximum value is 1 at x equals to 0. That means at x equals to 0, value is 1, correct? And there is no absolute minimum in this particular case, right? And the reason is that the domain selected or the closed interval which we are working on, right? This closed does not include 1, correct? That is how you have to see this example. So don't overlook this part, right? I hope you appreciate it. Thank you.